Grand Theft Auto 6 will be set in Miami. Yes, Vice City is back. We got the first real leaks regarding GTA 6 thanks to Jason Schreier at Bloomberg. He reported on the work conditions at Rockstar 18 months after Red Dead Redemption 2 came out, and is of course known for many reports that turn out to be true. So now he has a new article with GTA 6 details, and also simply reports that it's just way nicer to work at Rockstar right now, thanks to the restructuring of the design department. They have a pledge to keep overtime under control, bad apples have been fired, contractors are converted to full-time employees, and they also got more producers now to keep track of schedules. So first, they had a super ambitious plan for GTA 6. Early designs called for an inclusion of territories modeled after large swaths of North and South America. But they ended up cutting down on those plans and focus on a fictional version of Miami and its surrounding areas. Now, it's very common for developers to cut content in the middle of development, and when the game comes out, it should still be like really large, with more interior locations than previous Grand Theft Auto games. Like, I don't think we will be able to enter every building we see, but more is already great. And I would not be surprised if it kinda looked like this amazing Unreal Engine 5 footage from teaser play, and of course a link to the channel will be in the video description. Really looks amazing. It should be set in the modern times, although Jason doesn't rule out any flashbacks or excursions in GTA 6. So while we start with a sizable map in Vice City, the plan is to continuously update the game over time, adding new missions and cities on a regular basis, with the leadership hopes that this will lead to less crunch during the game's final months. And I really think this will be the trend going forward, that when Assassin's Creed Infinity comes out, that is also rumored to have multiple settings, it will just have one, but then with the promise that we get a new open world in a different time period a little later after launch. And to stay in the GTA open world for a moment before we look at details regarding the lead characters and when we can expect the game, this is very interesting. Rockstar namely had a patent that hinted at significant GTA 6 NPC improvements. The idea is that it should make people in the city behave more realistically, as they can detect the type of road or circumstances they are in. For example, driving slower on residential type roads, or having to perform certain maneuvers to avoid ongoing traffic on single lane streets. And it's also mentioned that main streets should have more cars than side streets, which only makes sense. It just should make the world of GTA 6 feel more alive. Jason now also notes that the game will feature a playable female protagonist for the first time. The woman, who is Latina, will be one of a pair of leading characters in a story influenced by bank robbers Bonnie and Clyde, which in short is about a criminal Clyde who steals the car from the mother of Bonnie, so then gets in contact with Bonnie, they fall in love, and she's bored with her own life, so she joins Clyde, and then they commit many crimes, including a bank robbery. So then you would think that the other playable character is a male inspired by Clyde, and that both leads will have a somewhat complicated relationship. I'm really curious how they will take that familiar story and twist it into their own thing. But yeah, really cool that we finally get a playable female character in a Rockstar game that is not an online mode. We only have to wait a bit before we can play it though. We're right now in financial year 23 of Take-Two, the publisher of Rockstar of course, where they expect to reach almost 4 billion in net bookings, which is pretty great. But we see a massive jump in financial year 24, and that's between April 2023 and March 2024. And this then continues the year after that, and only something as big as GTA 6 can cause a significant jump like that, as nicely highlighted by Derek on Twitter. So Take-Two is hinting at a release before April 2024, but the developers Jason interviewed did not know of any firm release date, and they expect the game to be at least 2 years away. So the end of 2024 seems to be realistic, but this could still mean that we get the first teaser this year. Remember that for Red Dead Redemption 2, Rockstar put up this red image of their logo on October 16th, 2016, with then a direct tease of Red Dead Redemption 2 on October 17th. We did not have to wait long because the first trailer would show up a few days later on October 20th. 20th, 2016 with a fall 2017 window. Although we all know that the game ended up releasing 1 year later at the end of October in 2018. Like Rockstar games always get delayed, so maybe they already tease it this year and then we see a fall 2023 window, which then ends up being the end of 2024. That would be my bet. But overall, like, I would not rule out a reveal this year. So subscribe to stay up to date on more GTA 6 news. A like on the video would of course really help me out. And check out that big video on the recent big Assassin's Creed leaks by clicking on the screen for if you haven't watched it yet. I will speak to you soon. Goodbye.